All right, everybody, welcome back to another week of After the Pause, our YouTube podcast series. We just record these to just walk alongside you in your journey with the Lord. Christy and I are all about courage and attempting to live with more courage. Some days better than others, right, Christy?
Yeah.
Yep. But we also love doing this because we get to talk to some friends that we've made along the way who we think are truly living courageously in their everyday lives. And none of us get it right. None of us get it perfectly every day. But we're all just trying. We're trying to follow after the Lord and to live the brave lives that He's created us to live. And so I'm so excited. This week we have Katy Parker with us. I got connected with her through Hope Writers, which I know I've made a plug every now and then on this podcast for. But it's an amazing group of writers, Christian writers mostly. And so we got connected through that group, Katy. I've loved getting to get to know you a little bit. You were born in Slovakia, now live in England. So, friends, that's a lot of time zones that we are navigating right now, but we're making it work, which is awesome. Katy's a writer. She has so much more in her story that I'll let her share. But Katy, just tell us, who are you and what are you up to?
Yeah, first I would say thank you so much. Yeah, firstly, thank you so much for having me here. Yeah, as you said, we connected through Hope Writers, and we are, I cannot believe, three different zones, three different countries, actually three different continents, really. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just amazing. But yeah, so as you said, my name is Katy Parker, but my mom used to call me Smiley. Don't know really why. So, yeah. And I'm a well-being writer, blogger, mental health advocate, mentor. Yeah, and overcomer with a smile. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm a founder of PTSD My Story project, what is a safe space for trauma survivors to share their stories.
Mm.
And the thing why I created it actually, so I'm sure we will be talking about my injury and so, but what I want to say, after my yeah, I had a very long break from writing.
Mm.
So my first poem came out when I was like 7 years old in Slovakia still in a children magazines. And since I left Slovakia, I haven't been writing then at all. I think it's the fear really is I had to just get some, yeah, a bit of more courageous to put my
Mm.
words out there. But yeah, it was really after my accident when I just needed to empty my head and put the words on a paper when I started my blog journey of smiling. Yeah, smiling. So it's my journey of hope and healing, and yeah, how my hope and positivity are helping me on my journey. And after my accident, when I was diagnosed with PTSD 2 months after or so, I was doing lots of research about PTSD, about mental health, and so. But one thing what I was really missing was really, the stories from people who were PTSD survivors. So I needed somebody who shares their story, not just the theoretical thing from doctors and therapists and so,
Mm.
but really, I believe so much in stories, and there's a power in stories and storytelling, and that's what I wanted. And I did find out there's a lack of stories, really, from the first-hand experience and
Yeah.
from the survivors. So when I started to share then later my story, other people kind of reacted to this and said, "Look, yeah, I am as well a survivor, and I'm so glad you're sharing your
Mm.
story." And I was thinking, oh, that would be something great to have a project, but everybody would be able, without any judgment, safe space, but they can share their stories. And that's how I created PTSD, my story project. And I'm so grateful to all the survivors because I know it's not easy to share your story. But it is so valuable and meaningful, and it's just really the message. It has the message, you are not alone. Yeah,
Yeah.
and now I as well created a trauma self-healing guide. Is on my website, Journey of Smiley, so you can sign for it. And I just created it because I believe healing should not be a luxury. It should be
Yeah.
accessible to all people. And so I share my knowledge, my experience, but I as well collaborated with health professionals and
Mm.
looked for their opinion. And then I was thinking, look, I create something that helps other people on their journey. So I created this trauma self-healing guide. Yeah, it's on my yeah, on my website, and I'm sure I can use lots of things. Probably we will be talking about today from there. So yeah.
Love it.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. I mean, I know, okay, so you've alluded a little bit to some of this stuff, but tell us a little bit about your story. I know in the pre-chat you shared kind of what life has looked like for you since 2020. So just share with us briefly a little bit of your story.
Yeah, so yeah, what a year 2020, no, for all of us. I mean, wow. Yeah, not easy for anybody. But on top of this, yeah, I had yeah, another challenge to go through.
Mm,
So I would say it was an ordinary day in an extraordinary year, 2020. I was going home from work. It was only a few minutes, really. I was walking and I was crossing a road and I hit about a meter from the pavement when a fan did hit me. Yeah, I ended up on the ground. I just know there was lots of people after this, and the ambulance came. I couldn't walk. I was just really grateful I was able to open my eyes. So I ended up in
mm,
hospital uh, with a fractured back for 2 weeks. I couldn't walk, so I had to learn a kind of walk,
mm,
and then I was just walking with the frame, the walking frame you have, and then later on crutches.
mm,
And yeah, as I was walking on crutches the first time with my occupational therapist, there were like windows yeah, the whole wall, across the whole wall, and coming back to my bed. And I was looking out of the window, and yeah, as you see through windows, there's like the life outside, obviously, the traffic, ambulance guys being in hospital. And I just stopped and I frozen. And I was thinking, I didn't know then what's going on really with me. I just kind of, I got stand there frozen. And the occupational therapist just asked me, like, you okay? And when she asked me this, I burst into tears.
mm,
Then she took me to my bed and closed the curtains, yeah. And I just told her everything what has happened. I got flashbacks. The first time was a week
mm,
after my accident, and she said to me, she was so kind and so understandable. She said to me, it's almost like they expected or thought that this will happen. She said it was just a matter of time. Like, that's normal. Is not something, because I was thinking I'm getting crazy. It's like,
mm,
no, it's normal. This kind of happens. You are okay, you know. And it was really, I was I was grateful, to be honest, for all this help I got after, because I was in hospital, so I got amazing help from yeah, a pastoral care there from priest, and
mm,
nurse came with this brochure about post-traumatic stress, actually after the traumatic accident. And yeah, it wasn't easy, and it's still a journey.
mm.
I'm still in recovery. There have been uh, many setbacks, but I think one of the things, or really is courage, is just get up and carry on,
Yeah.
you know.
Man, thank you for sharing your story. I know when I got to hear it, a couple of months ago when we talked at this point, it was your story is so powerful, and it also just feels just really sacred to hold. So just thank you for sharing your story with us, and just some of what you have walked through. It's not easy. So first of all, thank you. Thanks for sharing your story and for allowing the Lord to use your story. That a really hard one, but I think He's using it in some really amazing ways. So thank you, first of all. Um, I guess my next question for you is, um, I'm gonna like kind of throw a curveball, not really a curveball, but do a two-part. So what have been some fears for you that you've had to overcome, specifically like in your journey, just through healing and wholeness, and what does it look like for you to live courageously even with those fears? Because I don't think we fully overcome our fears forever. um,
Yeah.
we just kind of live with them and figure out a way to move past them.
Yeah, so try to answer for the question. If I'm kind of forgetting something, just remind me what the question
Totally.
was. Yeah, but yeah, what were some of the fears? So yeah, first I want to say it's really quite almost ironic for me to talk about courage, to be honest,
Mm.
when I feel when I was so scared and so anxious and everything to face at the beginning, to be honest, almost everything. You know, I used to be a girl who will be travel all around the world. I haven't been to Thailand yet though, but I love Asia. Hopefully one day I'll be able to. Yeah, and then suddenly after this accident, you know, I was somebody who was even scared to go out. You know, I was there in hospital. The four walls were my safety. And I was even, to be honest, scared to go out. But I knew I want to go home, you know, and I knew I had to face the fear. So yeah, it was just about how do I do it. So as I said, I was so lucky to have the help of yeah, the pastoral care that was there,
Mm.
the occupational therapist, um physiotherapist, and so, and with them we actually kind of organized first that my husband would wait for me at the reception down, and that they would wheel me actually kind of to go out just in front of the building, you know, just that I am not scared of the outside world really, because the outside world was the enemy for me. That was there where I was hurt, you know. And so we did it. They wheeled me out, and the first time it wasn't successful. Then there was my husband. Then in the reception, I was talking to him for a bit, and so, and then after this, you know, I said, "No, let's try it again. I want to go out. I really want to. Let's try again." And yeah, living courageously is really not to give up. No, you might go through so many feedbacks, so many failure, and so just use it as a lesson. Now, and I was thinking, okay, let's do it, and I did it. I mean, just in front of the building, but I did the first step, and already making the first step is really already breaking fear, you know. So I really, I mean, since then, I I mean, I had to go through so many fear. That was just one of them, but I would say my independence was as well shattered, you know. Trauma, everything, my safety was shattered through trauma, my independence, my confidence. I then, and when I was coming home, obviously I had to go through the fear, then face the car and everything. I came home. I was for a week just in my room till I actually said, okay, let's, I hopefully I managed to walk out, and let's do it, because I want to go out, and I want to, you know, show them, you know, look, fear, you are not going to win over me. You know, you're not going to win. And so after a week, we went out with my husband. Then we just went just in front of our house, then on a street, then always a little bit further and a little bit further, you know, baby steps really. I think that's so important, facing fear, just do baby steps really. And, you know, as I say, my faith did help me so much, because it's really faith over fear. You know, you have to trust God so much, you know, that you are able to do. It's almost like you have the word cannot, and God takes the not away from it, and it's just say can, and you put yourself in front of it, and it's I can. Because I had to really learn, you know, believe in myself again, you know. And I did kind of find out through trusting God, I can believe myself again. I can do things again because I trust Him. So I can do it. I can go out again on myself. Because really, the PTSD, what it does actually, I mean, I just explained to you what PTSD is, and to others, yeah, it's just it's natural response to any traumatic event. You know, it can happen to anybody. Anybody can go through trauma. And the symptoms, like you have really is the flashbacks, the fear, anxiety, and all these things. And PTSD, in contrast to other anxiety disorder, is actually the fear you have is because of something what has happened to you, not something that is in the future and hasn't happened, and so, and I'm really scared of something, is related to already something happening to you. So, and you know, funny enough, because when I say sometimes, yeah, it just kind of, you have to give your hand to God and be walked through it. And lots of people, I would say, and also Christian as well, you know, look at me and would say then like, yeah, then why were you afraid? Why were you, you know, anxious when you trust God? And so the thing what lots of people perhaps don't know is as well that PTSD changes your brain, is not an illness, it is an injury, mental health injury, and changes your brain. The wire, how your brain kind of works, how is it wired. The trauma causes is not wired properly anymore. So the amygdala, that is the center for rumination, the fear, blame, all these negative thoughts, increases function. So obviously cannot think clearly. So think about, oh yes, yeah, but Jesus is with me. And so if you cannot think clearly, you're probably not going to think about it. It's like you're standing by the pool in your clothes and somebody will just push you in a pool. And you first go like, oh my gosh, where I am. And then you start to swim. Yeah, I'm in the water, so I need to meter or whatever, I need to swim. So yeah, so it's kind of something like this. First, your brain just doesn't work properly. We have to kind of realize this. Instead of kind of blaming just people, oh yeah, but you believe in God, so why anxiety? And so it's just because it's almost not you anymore, so you have to kind of really face this. You have to re-establish safety, because trauma does shatter the safety as well. So you feel so not safe, and I think slowly you just have to say, okay, God, I trust you, and I want to reestablish the safety. And I will read your book as well, and I just love how you say so much about love, because the one way how you reestablish safety is not through judgment. Yeah, it's with love, because not through people starting to judging you and say things like, but so why are you scared? Why you just don't go on the street? Like nothing can happen to you. Surely you believe in God and you're trusting. So why are you saying this? Well, is through judgment, your safety is not going to be established. It's really with love. So you need to show people, be like Jesus, love. And Jesus says, love others. So love help them to establish the safety. And then once they establish, like I me as well, then I was able to face the fears, go out and just slowly, step by step, face the fear. So I think that's so important, to have people who support you around you and just say, yeah, God, it will be okay. It will be. Just say, yeah, I might be scared a bit, but I'll give you my hand, and slowly we will do it, and you will.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's so good. So with what you shared, I am going to throw a little bit of a curveball to you, but I'll give you the question we also have for you too. So two parts to this. What are some practices that you put into place in your life to live courageously? And with that, I'm just curious, is there a truth from God's word, a mantra, something that like you hold on to, that this is something for me to live by as I'm trying to put these practices into place?
Yeah. So first thing, really, with the practices is, even when you have a panic attack or anything, when you're scared, afraid, and so it's really to have the safety, feel I'm safe. And that's the mantra really as well, with God, with you, I'm safe. I know with you, I'm safe. So yeah, so it's really, you need to establish safety, because only then, as I said, we can face the fear. So I would say this is really one of the practice. Then is and you find this about in my trauma self-healing guide. I've read lots about fear and about how to kind of face the fear. And so is when you want to face the fear, or when you are in a panic attack, you do need the deep breathing. Deep breathing helps so much. So one kind of, if I can give you some specific and kind of tips or stuff, is the box breathing. So it's like you breathe in for 4, then you hold for 4, and then you breathe out for 4. Or you can do, if you cannot hold, do for 6 and 6 out. But you really, because imagine like when you're afraid, when you're scared and you panic, and so you breathe very shallow, and so you need to breathe again very slowly, so the oxygen gets into your brain, and then you can again clear, actually think clearly. And so you need to really, the box breathing is so important. So so you have a God's help, pray brings miracle, really. So you just pray before every time I go driving or so, I just say quick prayer, just God help me, because first driving for me, that was another fear I had to go through. It took me a very long time to actually sit in a car and be able to drive. And now when I go, because there is a way I learned just this small step by step. I learned just I'm able to actually drive to my physio and say I'm not scared anymore. Yeah. And I every time say the prayer, God help me, like, with you, I know I can. So yeah. And so yeah, slowly yeah, I think I slowly believe that I can do things. And so and as well getting independent slowly and believe in myself again slowly through trusting in God. And so, and I think that's kind of the practices as well. Then because yeah, I mean, then you have a grounding technique as well. I mean, I could talk about techniques for ages, but you find them in my travel self-healing guides as well. But what can help you as well is distractions. Just distract yourself, from things. Or I don't know if you heard of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like you are somewhere, you get panic suddenly, or so you should think 5 things you see, 4 things you can feel, or 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 you can taste. They can help you. And so it's really just really feel kind of safe first. Say the mantra, God, I know with you I feel safe. I know we can do it together. I'm just holding your hand. You can help me. You can, if you want, you can write for you 2 verses from Bible. So just lean on God, give Him all your fear or anxiety, and so, and then really take a deep breath, really, and slowly face the fear, just slowly, and just know you are safe. You are safe. Yeah. So I would say that's really the practices that I still use, and just step by step, really. Don't make a big jump, because this is a damage even more. Really, just slowly, step by step.
Man, that's good. I think what I love about that is that there's what you just talked about was a spiritual practice in one hand of just repeating, like, God, I know you're with me. I know I can do this. Like, with you, I can do anything, right? Like, very spiritual practice, but then also a very like physical, tangible practice as well. And I think we need both. I think to like ignore one side for maybe the more spiritual side, you could that physical side will truly help you overcome some of those fears, especially when they hit all of a sudden. Like if you start to have a panic attack or something like that. I know those physical practices help so much. So thanks for bringing those up. I think it can be easy to ignore them sometimes in our quest toward like spiritual growth. We can sometimes miss those.
I think they're walking hand in hand, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're walking hand in hand. It is a reason why God created therapies. It's a reason why God, created these things. So I believe that they walk really hand in hand. Really. So yeah.
Well, I guess one of my questions too for you is, imagine one of our friends is just sitting with us and they want to live with more courage. What is 1 or 2 pieces of advice you would give for them, to them, just how they can live with more courage every day? What advice would you give?
I would just say, just do it. Just do it. Just pray God is there with you. Just do it. Surround yourself with people whom you can actually, who support you, and so have the support, and just do it. And what I would say, the first thing already is when you just start, embark on your journey of recovery. That's already something so courageous. It's just because the healing journey is not easy. It's a hard journey. And things that you already actually embark on this, that's already first courageous step. Yeah. The other thing is as well asking for help. It's so, honestly, you have to be brave, surely, to ask for help. So really is so courageous, ask for help. And what I kind of think is often the little things, what we think are really weakness, kind of their strength. Like, for example, how hard is to be honest with ourselves, with our feelings. To be honest with yourself, with your feelings. I learned it so many times through hard lessons, and through setbacks, but I know how important it is as well. Just like vulnerability, patience, be patient with yourself, and all these things what we think is weakness is actually courageous. Like, and then as well, just saying no to people, having healthy boundaries, as well, people pleasing. We just think, oh, we need to do it, we need to, or it's really courageous to say no. So it's really just you think of yourself as well. You're human beings, not doings, and your body is a temple. God made you this way for a reason, really. God loves you. And so I think you do need to start to love yourself as well. I would say if you want to live courageous, it's really those little things, because authenticity fosters resilience. So it's really those little steps we need to really do. We do them every day, really, but we often still think like, oh, how can I say no? How can I be, honest with myself? And so that's all courage. So I just would
Yeah.
say, go do it slowly, step by step. God is with you. Surround yourself with the people who support you. And yeah, just with a deep breath. Yeah, take a deep breath. I'll tell you a story actually quickly. Hopefully we have a time. But I was at work. I was in so much pain. No, I was at work, and I actually came to my office and I break into tears. I was in pain. There were triggers around me and everything. And I just started to talk to God, not even pray, just talk to Him. I just kind of said to Him, like, God, I know I shouldn't be really asking, why is this happening? Or so, because I should really just think there is a lesson in every pain and so. But I just really, I am so broken and I'm so low and I'm so much in pain, and I could feel His warmth going through me. I could feel His love. Now I took the deep breath and I got back into work. And I was thinking, I am loved and that's what matters. I can do it again. And that's what matters. Because sometimes I think our pain is not there for others to see that we are courageous, we are strong. That is for us to actually to learn something. Things like this, be honest with yourself. Just learn to say no. Have a healthy boundaries, be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself, and just know that it's okay not being okay. Because we always think we need to be this smiley face, smiley Kathy. No, yeah, how smiling is so deceptive, you never know what is there really. So yeah.
So much good advice. My goodness. I feel like we could chat and there's so much that people could unpack in
Yeah.
that for
Oh,
hours.
sorry.
So I hope for those
Yeah.
listening that there was something in that you're just like, man, I think that word was for me today, and just hold on to that. Katy, we have loved chatting with you. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on with us. Before we let you go though, tell us again, how can people stay in touch with you?
So yeah, you find me on my Journey of Smiling website and my blog. This is as well the trauma self-healing guide. So if you want to download it, it's not just for people who are going through trauma, but really anybody who goes through any hard time. And then you find me on social media, Journey of Smiley, Facebook, Instagram. And I always say I'm just just a message away. So I mean, through my blog, people started to contact me, and so with any really problems, for tips or advice, sometimes just really to have somebody who would listen to them, or sometimes maybe just somebody who is perhaps a step further from them and is willing to share the journey and the knowledge and everything. So I always say, my email is always open, and so if you have any problems, and I can help you, I'm happy to help through everything I learn through my psychology studies as well at university. That was like part of my study, psychology, and I'm always keen to develop. So I did lots of mental health and trainings and so. But sometimes I think it's not just the skills we learn; it's as well, I think through what I went through life, it actually made me so. And the ability to actually put myself into the shoes of other people and be actually kind of yes empathetic and so on. I think sometimes is this what people need. So if you have any really problems, if you're stuck really on your journey and so, if you think I'll be able to, or you just even know, just really just to listen to somebody, and so listen to understand you, look for somebody who will understand you, and so you feel alone, because that's what we really don't want. I wouldn't want to people feel alone really, so I'm always here. So smiley@journalsmiley.com. can always email me as well and find my details on my website. So yeah.
Awesome.
Um,
Love
I
it.
would say
We
as
will.
well, and I as well want to say thank you to you for having me. And yeah, Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, happy and blessed year. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was really pleasure. And anybody who really wants to know more about courage as well should go and read your book as well.
Oh.
No, that's awesome. And we will include the links to your social media, all of that below. So friends, be sure to check that out, get in touch. Also, while you're down there looking at those links, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can stay updated on when new content comes out. And I mean, Katy, you mentioned the book. We're going to mention it too. If you haven't gotten a copy of A Place Called Braverly yet, get yourself a copy. Do yourself a favor and get it. It is a book for anyone just looking to live with more courage in their lives and be encouraged in ways that you can practically live that out. So you can find that at our website, aplacecalledbraverly.com. Also on there, you could get the free ebook, and we created a free small group study guide. And who doesn't love free things? So you can check out all of those resources on our website. Before we head out, I'll just close really quickly with a quote from the book. It just seems fitting given the conversation that we just had. So let me end with this. Your courage matters. Your courage carries the power of Christ into this world. Your courage shapes nations and generations. Your courage brings the kingdom to earth and sends light into darkness. We need your courage. We need your story. Katy, we're so thankful that you've taken the time to share yours today. For those of you listening, maybe the most courageous thing that you can do this week is to share a bit of your story with a friend. Maybe that's the next step of courage for you. So consider it. Reach out to others, reach out to Katy. Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you again on Here With Us.
Thank you so much.